The hardest hit to my head, wow, it reminded me of a Mack truck hitting a Volkswagen. Ray Ellis was the safety for Philadelphia, and I didn't see him. I mean, he just blew me up.
I know every play I hit my head. Believe me, you walked around with a headache from July to January.
Play 65 snaps a game. You start and finish 177 ball games. Let's just add up the damage. The collateral damage is there.
Hall of Fame running back Tony Dorsett, Hall of Fame guard Joe DeLamielleure, and former All-Pro defensive end Leonard Marshall played a combined 37 years in the NFL. They endured countless blows to the head and say they still deal with the consequences.
The chronic headaches, the fogginess at times, my erratic behavior. The least little thing ticks me off.
I never sleep more than 3 or 4 hours a night. Anxiety attacks, depression.
My quality of living deteriorates on a daily basis. This is not me. This is not TD. This is not Anthony Drew Dorsett. You're not the same person.
The 3 retired stars were recently tested for chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, a brain disease triggered by head trauma and linked to memory loss, depression, and dementia.
Up until now, the only way to know someone had CTE was at autopsy, to do an autopsy and a detailed study of the brain.
Neurosurgeon Julian Bales is part of a medical team that says it's devised a brain scan called TauMark to detect signs of CTE in a living person. CTE is identified by the accumulation of tau, a protein that damages brain cells.
Until we could diagnose it in the living, we had no hope of intervening or treating them, or knowing if it was getting worse, or even knowing if it's a progressive disease.
Dorsett, DeLamielleure, Marshall, and former All-Pro Mark Duper were all tested recently at UCLA, and all 4 were diagnosed with signs of CTE. Last year, 5 players, including former quarterback Wayne Clark, shown here, also were tested at UCLA. They were all diagnosed as well with signs of CTE.
But I have to stress, our numbers are small. This has to be considered preliminary data, and we look forward to accruing more examples and more testing.
On the nights before they were tested, Dorsett, DeLamielleure, and Marshall discussed their lives today. Dorsett said he's prone to outbursts at his wife and daughters.
It's painful, man, for my daughters to say they're scared. It's painful.
Have you found yourself dealing at all with depression?
I've been diagnosed as being depressed, yes. And I'm like, I'm in denial. I said, I'm not depressed. What are you talking about? Clinically, I'm depressed.
At their lowest moments, the 3 ex-players said they've had suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, it's been there. It's been there. Let's just leave it at that.
I've thought about crazy stuff. Sort of like, why do I need to continue going through this? I mean, I'm too smart of a person, I like to think, to take my life. But it's crossed my mind.
I've had thoughts of suicide. Yeah, I do. I get them. It's kind of scary, isn't it? Damn right it's scary.
CTE is a brain disease with no known cure, but Bales says diagnosing it in the living could lead to new therapies and preventive measures. It can also help players seeking answers to explain their cognitive and emotional struggles. On the day DeLamielleure was told that he had signs of CTE, he said he felt relieved.
It's not good that I have it, but it's good that I know. The facts are the facts. I got CTE. I played football until I was 35 years old, and I hit every day.
Before his recent diagnosis, Dorsett spoke about how he might cope with having CTE.
I'm going to try to stay on the positive side if I can. But I don't know how my brain is going to react to some of the things years down the road, what my thoughts may be. But I know at this point, I'm planning on being around for a while.